If it takes you hours to draw hands just for you to be disappointed, then you need to draw more hands. Stop spending all your time researching how to draw better hands and instead just start drawing them. After all, repetition is key to getting better. So by my logic, if I draw more hands, then I'll be able to draw better hands that actually look like hands. And in this video, I'm going to be drawing 100 hands, explain how it helped me and why it's going to help you no matter your skill level, bitch. I have 3 main goals for this challenge. The first one is to be able to draw hands at a quicker pace. The second one is to understand the meaning behind each line, so I'm not just mindlessly drawing hands, you know? And the third one is to make some cool looking hands, so when I flip back through my sketchbook, I'll be like, wow, I drew those hands. Yeah. Starting off on the hard setting, I'm gonna draw this hand. You might have seen it before. It's a art challenge that has been circling Twitter. I'm not calling it X, I don't care. But if I start off on the hard setting, then the rest of the hands will be easier to draw, right? Perfect logic, I know. I got this concept from sniping on Call of Duty. I'm not sure where I first heard it, but they said if your aim is ass, turn your sensitivity up and then play with that for a little bit and then go back down to your regular sensitivity and your aim will be better. And it seemed to work for me most of the time, so why can't I apply that same logic to drawing? Now, as I was drawing this, I realized that the reference, well, it kind of fucking sucks. It's hard to see where the fingers meet the hand. Everything just kind of blends together, so it's not a good reference. I should have taken my own photo, but I didn't, so. After making my guidelines, I started redefining the shape of the fingers and adding fingernails. Fingernails help so much when you're drawing hands, like to make them actually look like hands, especially if you're drawing hands from weird angles. The fingernails are very important. On God. But this challenge was way harder than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know why I thought it would be kind of easy. I got that confidence in my drawing skills even though I shouldn't. After I redefined the shape of everything, I started shading in and adding even more details, you know. This is how she came out. Compared to the original, you can see where I messed up. This took me like 40 minutes and I don't really like how it came out looking, but it's not terrible. Okay, it's not. Is it? I don't know. You tell me. Is it terrible? Objectively, it's pretty good for my first time trying it, right? Right. Okay. But the anatomy is clearly fucking lacking. Slacking? It's lacking, bitch. Which brings me to my reasoning behind my next step, which is to just look up the basic anatomy of a hand. And this didn't really help me. I looked at it, I found this website, I read everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's how hands work. But I don't know. I didn't really apply this logic as I was drawing, but I tried to. But it is important to understand the basic anatomy, even though I didn't use it as I should have, which I haven't finished drawing all of the hands, so moving forward, I'm gonna try and focus more on that. You'll see. We'll get to that in a little bit, okay? But it's really important to understand the bone structure, especially if you're drawing like skinny, skeleton-looking, bony-ass hands, which my hands are pretty bony, and I do end up using them as a reference, so it's kind of important. But not surprisingly, I've never researched the anatomy for hands before ever, and I can draw I've drawn decent looking hands by just using a reference, but I want to be able to draw without a reference or barely use the reference, just glance at it instead of adding every little detail from the reference, you know. It gets boring. I don't want to do that forever, you know, because over my art journey, I have developed a terrible habit of just drawing what I see and not taking the time to actually understand the anatomy or the construction of what I am drawing. So don't do that, bitch. Don't. Just learn it. Take the time. Learn what you're actually drawing. Don't do what I did. Don't just use references like that. Okay? References are cool, but you can't just be using them as exact photo copies. You know what I mean? So I definitely still have to work on that. I'm not a pro by any stretch, so. But I know I fucked up in that aspect, so don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I did. Use references properly. Okay, I'm kind of just yapping about this now. Let's move on. We're a little bit closer to completing my second goal, which is to understand the reasoning behind each line. And as I'm drawing, I start to understand the lines and why they're there even more. Like, I'm more of a learn as I go type of bitch. So, the one thing that really oh my god, English. One thing that really stood out to me as I was learning anatomy and just as I've drawn hands is that your middle finger, see that? It's basically the same length as your palm, at least for my hands, so I'm assuming it's similar for most hands. I don't know. I know some people have ring fingers that are longer than their pointer finger or like the same length, so keep that in mind when you're drawing hands, I guess. But now that I've like looked over the anatomy, it's time for just some repetition. So I started off drawing 10 hands and really focusing on like making them look like hands. So I spent a lot of time just on one hand. Crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room filled with rats. And rats make me crazy. Crazy? Alright, that is enough of that. Okay. You might have noticed that I drew each hand twice. One version is just flipped. And I think flipping the image and drawing it again helped me understand the hand a lot. So my mistakes became very noticeable and I was able to fix it when I drew it again. Well, try to anyways. That thumb is a little fucked up. Okay, don't even worry about it. If you try this or have tried it, let me know in the comments. Like, let's chat about it. I read all of them. So anyways, here's the first 10 hands that I tried extra hard on. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, number 9 and 10, I was overdrawing hands and I didn't want to draw them anymore, so I spent like half the time on those ones, but it's fine. Okay. And I know what you're thinking, why only 10? Well, that's because next I'm going to draw 20 quick sketches and then 10 more detailed ones and so on and so forth. You'll see. Okay, we'll get there. So I thought it would be fun to sketch with this 8B pencil because it's super dark, and I usually just sketch with a mechanical pencil because it has eraser and I use that a lot, but it's just like darker. Yeah. You can definitely see that, right? I feel like everyone is so obsessed with being able to draw quickly that it kind of like fucks up my motivation to draw. So instead of focusing on how much time it's taking, I'm going to just try and draw basic shapes. I am trying to be quick, but also not focusing on that, if that makes sense. Probably not, let's be real. See, this thumb is way too short. Usually it comes up to, you know, that line right there where your fingers start. It does have a cute shape to it though, so it is kind of sad that I made it way too short. It's all fucked up, but they don't have to be perfect, you know, which is the main thing I'm trying to take away while drawing these 20 quick sketches, is to just be able to draw the basic shape of a hand quickly so it doesn't take me an hour to draw a hand, you know? I can definitely understand why people hate drawing hands, because they can move in so many different ways and just bend into so many different shapes. It's hard to draw, especially without a reference. I don't know if I'll ever be able to draw accurate hands without a reference. And that's something I tend to beat myself up over, like relying on references so much. People that you admire probably still use references, just maybe they don't overuse them, which I have definitely been guilty of. I really don't like how this hand is coming out, but not every hand has to be perfect. Like, that is good enough for a quick sketch. We're gonna move on before I spend an hour trying to fix every little thing. So what is that? That's number 11? Ooh, we're getting somewhere, kind of. Not really. I do like sketching with this 8B pencil though. It's kind of fun, but I don't know. What kind of pencil do you like sketching with? I feel like a lot of people sketch with mechanical pencils or just only use mechanical pencils, which is fine. You don't need a fancy pencil to draw. What the fuck is this though? This does not look like the start of a thumb. Okay. And then it connects to the hand right here, right? Right. I also feel like there's not a right or a wrong way to draw hands. It's just however you can remember how to do it. But this hand is probably going to not resemble a hand. I feel like it's too long maybe, or we're missing a knuckle down here. That might do it. Yes, I kind of enjoy drawing hands, oddly enough. When they end up looking good and you get the proportions right, it's just, you feel good. Like, you're like, damn, I drew that fucking hand. Yeah. Other times they come out looking like this and you question your abilities as an artist. Bruh, maybe the thumb is what's fucking it up. It just kind of looks like a blob right now. Oh god, I feel like that made it worse. That's okay though. I don't know why that reminds me of the one thing that Greg says, how's it go? If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs or some shit like that. I really like that quote. Steven Universe is just a great show in general, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it if you like cartoons. I feel kind of weird watching cartoons at my age, you know, I'm 20, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If I enjoy watching them, I should watch it, you know? If you enjoy it, who cares? That's as good as this hand is going to get. They have, like, in the reference, it's supposed to be a ball up here. I just don't like it. I don't like it, but that's okay. We are going to move on and just leave that. Look. Already making more progress. Number 12. I did start this challenge before I got sick because I've been sick for literally 3 weeks. I got sick and then I had to go on antibiotics, and then like a week after I had an allergic reaction, a delayed allergic reaction to the freaking antibiotics, and I had a rash all over my body, literally on my scalp. It was horrible. Would not recommend. Anyways, I had to go on steroids for that, and I'm freaking sick again. So I've been kind of putting off drawing these hands. This hand is just not coming out looking good. It's all fucked up. I do think it's important though to get repetitions in. You know, I do want to be able to draw hands faster and so where they actually like look good, but I'm also not studying the hand and going about it in a like traditional way. I don't know. I feel like I learn more by just doing and figuring out as I go and versus sitting down and studying. Not to mention, like, I have no motivation to do that. That sounds boring as fuck to learn every little thing about the hand. Like, what the fuck is this? I kind of just want to scrap this hand and move the fuck on. I do not like it at all. We're gonna draw a little sad face because I don't like that one, but I don't want to erase it. Maybe when I look back on it on a later date, I'll be like, yeah, that looks like a hand. As of right now, does not look like a hand. I like this one a lot though. She's pretty cute. Okay, this one's kind of more of a L. I can never remember which way the L goes, like when people do this, like, oh, your left hand. I don't know. It just never made sense to me. She's a cute thumb. Little pointy bitch. God damn. Made her thick as fuck. I also feel like I do a lot of like the chicken scratch type of line work, which I know isn't a good habit to have, but I've kind of stopped giving a fuck. And I don't know, like, if you want to draw that way, why can't you? Why does every line have to be perfect? Why can't I just scratch my way along and erase it till it looks right? What is wrong with that? Probably a lot of things, you know, maybe, I don't know, does it make you less of an artist if you can't draw perfect lines every time and you've always drawn kind of scratchy? I kind of just like drawing like that better. That shape is beautiful. Actually, it's kind of ugly. I don't know why I do that. Like that accent, I just kind of like it. I don't know if it's like a British accent. I don't mean to like make fun of anyone when I do it. I just enjoy doing it. It's fun. Look at this finger. It's going to be beautiful. It's a horrible accent. God, don't make fun of me. I just like doing it, okay? Why are you judging? Actually, I'm judging myself a little bit too, so it's okay. Oh yeah, beautiful pinky. I know. It's so beautiful. Do you wish you could draw a pinky like that? You could probably draw a pinky better, let's be real. I feel like all of my drawings look bad, but you kind of just have to trust the process, and then at the end you're like, oh yeah, you know what? That kind of does look like a hand, you're right. But in actuality, it's not that great of a hand, and I'm just gaslighting myself. What? That's one thick ass fucking finger. Hold on. There we go. That's more fingery, I think. Fingery. Yeah, see, this part is too big. Digital artists, I'm kind of jealous of them sometimes because they can just like select an area and make it bigger or smaller. Like if I could just select this bottom part and like move it up a little bit and make my life so much easier, but I can't. I'd have to like erase it, or hear me out, I just make the fingers longer. Okay, well now I'm gonna have to move the whole ass fucking pinky. What if I just curve her up more? I feel like that's not that bad. The hand looks a little weird. Maybe some shading will help. I feel like shading fixes everything. Or it helps a lot anyways. Good enough. Let's move on. Number 14. Wow. Out of 100? Jesus. What have I gotten myself into? These hands in the reference are so pretty, and then I'm looking at mine and they're not pretty, except for this one. This one's kind of cute. See, now I'm starting to like this one. Not that one though. Sometimes when you draw for a while, you just have to step back and look at your art later, or else you'll get like tunnel vision and notice every single mistake and you'll be like, what the fuck is that? I can't draw. But then you come back later and you're like, wow, maybe I'm not that bad of an artist. All right, here's number 15. Beautiful, I know. Number 16, I didn't use a reference on this one if you couldn't tell. Number 17, 18, and 19, this one really needs some help, on God. Number 20 and 21, I kind of gave up on trying to make these ones look good, but it's fine, okay? Then I drew the flipped versions of these hands, of course. And at this point, I'm able to draw them more quickly and make them look good. I am starting to actually be able to draw hands. It's crazy. Which just proves that if you end up doing this, it actually helps. Like, it helped me. So it will probably help you. But now we are moving on to one of the most time-consuming parts out of this whole video, drawing realistic hands using my hands as reference. And I actually had so much fun drawing these, surprisingly. I fucking love how they turned out, so let's just take a moment and appreciate how fucking good these hands look, okay? They are so pretty. I love them. I used a blending stump for all the shadows, and it was one of the best decisions I have made throughout this whole process so far. It makes such a big difference. Try it. So at this point, I have spent hours drawing hands, right? And we're not even halfway done. I've only drawn 40. So for the next 20 hands, I've decided to only spend 1 minute and 27 seconds on them. Why? Why 27 seconds? Because, why the fuck not, bitch? Okay. Alright, so having a small time limit for each hand surprisingly made it easier to draw them. I became less obsessed with trying to make each hand perfect. Instead, as soon as the timer went off, I just moved on to the next hand. I was able to convince myself that it's okay if they don't look good. I mean, heck, I only spent 1 minute and 27 seconds on each hand. It's amazing any of them came out looking like hands at all. Definitely recommend doing something like this. Anyways, here's number 40 through 60. Hey. So, you might have noticed that I dyed my hair and cut it. What do we think? It's good. I like it. It has been a few days since I drew those last hands, but only spending 1 minute and 27 seconds definitely presented some challenges. Let's just take a look at some honorable mentions. I know, they are so beautiful, you don't even have to tell me. But on a serious note, a few of these turned out pretty okay. Anyways, we're just gonna move on, okay? I need to finish drawing these hands. It's been like a month, like since I first started. So next, I'm gonna draw 10 hands without a reference at all. Yeah. You can I'll record myself. We're gonna change it up a little bit, okay? I'm gonna record myself drawing it, and I'm actually gonna move somewhere else so I don't have any temptations of using a reference other than my hands, but I can't really get rid of those. So, yeah, let's fucking draw more hands. As you can see, we've moved to the floor. Got my shit right here. Yeah. Actually, I haven't drawn like sitting and not at a desk in a minute, like a year. So, I don't want to do this shit, I'm be so honest. Fuck it, we ball. What's up, man? Alright, let me make sure I'm on the right page. Yup. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make them small so it doesn't take as long. I'll show you them after, alright? Alright. I'll show you them during. But you won't be able to you know what? It's fine. I feel like I've forgotten how to draw hands in the span of 2 days. This is what we're working with. Hold on. Yeah. We're gonna start over. So, I want you guys to just look at this. Why does the thumb look like that, bruh? Alright, this bitch. I need a reference. Look at that shit. The fuck? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This might be one of the worst hands I've drawn so far. Yeah. Maybe not using a reference is a bad idea. Maybe instead I'll look up like those step-by-step how to draw hands. Yeah. Or maybe I should just draw 10 more without a reference. I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna finish that. You don't have to sit here and watch me do it anymore. Let's cut to me finishing 10 hands without a reference. I'll see you in like 0.1 second. All right, change of plans. I made a total of 3 hands and they look pretty bad. They just don't look right. They don't look like bad, but they don't look right. So I decided I'm actually going to follow a step-by-step tutorial from Pinterest, a few of them. So we're gonna do that instead. You wanna see the 3 hands that I've drawn? I'll show you. Here they are. Yep. They just don't look right. I'll put like a better picture up, maybe. I'm gonna follow some tutorials. Here's the hands I drew using the step-by-step guide from Pinterest. They look really good in my opinion. Next, I'm gonna be drawing 20 more quick sketches, but this time I'm gonna be spending 2 minutes on them. I know, crazy. While drawing these hands, I used everything I learned from the step-by-step guides from Pinterest. If the hand was in a weird angle, I would start off with a circle, and if it was like face forward, then I would draw it in a square. I would start off with a square, and then I would draw more circles for each knuckle as guidelines, you know. I would also make sure that the thumb is in the correct place. It starts in the middle of the palm. Drawing them this way will help you understand how the hand works, because it helped me, so. This is how they came out looking. Some are a little fucked up, but most of them are good. So yay. Finally, we are moving on to the last 10 fucking hands. It's been like a month, bitch. Finally. I decided to redraw some of the first few hands I did and time it to see if I made any progress time-wise. This one took like 25 minutes. For context, the first time I did it took like 30. So not much improvement, but a little bit. And I honestly like the first one better than this one, but it's okay. I actually understand what I'm drawing now, so that's a big fucking plus. This one took like 15 minutes, and the first time I drew it took like 18. A little bit improvement. Not really, but a little bit. Then for the last eight fucking hands, I decided to not use like a still image reference. I know I tried this before, but I couldn't do it, so instead I'm gonna be using like my hands as references, just looking at them occasionally as I'm drawing. I had so much fun drawing these, honestly. Not having to stare at a fucking reference to draw something makes it way more enjoyable. Here is number 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and finally, the last hand, number 100. Let's see if I accomplished any of my 3 goals. The first one was to draw quicker. I did like a little bit, but not really, so I'm gonna give that one a soft pass. The second one was to understand what I'm drawing, and I definitely accomplished this goal. It's amazing. I actually know how hands fucking work now. What a crazy concept. But finally, the most important goal out of all of them, being able to flip through my sketchbook and see some cool looking fucking hands. I would say we accomplished that one. If you want to get better at drawing hands, you need to try drawing a bunch of hands. It will help you understand the construction of the hand. I would recommend following like step-by-step things and then using those step-by-steps in like your own drawing, if that makes sense. I would say 100 is a little bit of overkill. You could probably accomplish the same thing with about 50, but 100 is a nice challenge, and then you can be like, I drew 100 hands. Everyone will be like, wow. No matter if you're a beginner, an intermediate artist like me, or an advanced artist, this will help all of y'all bitches, okay? Taking time to draw a lot of hands will make it way less painful when you are working on something and you have to draw hands in them, because you'll actually understand how they work. And they won't come out looking like weird. Yeah. Let me know if you're gonna become better at drawing hands by using my advice. If you made it this far, you probably liked the video, right? Otherwise, how the fuck did you make it this far? Show your support by liking the video and subscribing if you want to see more of my face. Have a good day or night. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.